Episode 11. Anchor joy in daily life. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that can transform every day. Joy. Not flashy, not loud, not dependent on everything going right. Not the kind of joy that rises with good news and disappears with difficult lab result. Not the kind that waits for treatment to be over to feel normal again. I'm talking about anchored joy. A quiet, steady joy. A rooted joy. A joy that doesn't come from your circumstances, but from something deeper. Because when your life includes uncertainty, fatigue, or ongoing treatment, you quickly realize something important. If your joy depends on everything going well, it will come and go. But anchored joy remains. It's rooted in faith. The kind of faith that says, even here, God is still present. Not just in the breakthroughs, but in the ordinary moments, the hard days, the waiting. It's rooted in presence. The ability to be here in this moment without constantly living in the what-ifs of tomorrow. To notice what is still good, still meaningful, still alive today. It's rooted in gratitude, not because everything is perfect, but because something is still beautiful, still worthy of being seen. And here's what makes anchor joy so powerful. It can exist alongside difficulty. You can feel tired and still have joy. You can be in treatment and still have joy. You can receive hard news and still find moments of joy. Joy and hardship are not opposites. They can coexist. That doesn't mean you ignore the hard parts. It means you don't let them take up all the space. Because even in the middle of uncertainty, joy is available. It might look different than it used to. It might be quieter, simpler, more intentional. It might look like a deep breath in the morning before the day begins. A conversation that makes you feel seen. A moment of laughter you didn't expect. Sitting in stillness and feeling peace. A reminder that you made it through another day. These moments matter. They are not small. They are not insignificant. They are evidence that life is still happening, not just around your struggle, but within it. Anchor joy is not about waiting for everything to change. It's about choosing to notice what is still here. It's about allowing light into places that feel heavy. It's about saying, yes, this is hard, and there is still something good in this moment. And over time, those small moments of joy begin to build something stronger. They strengthen your spirit. They shift your perspective. They remind you that your life is more than your diagnosis, more than your treatment, more than your numbers. Because joy doesn't come from having a perfect situation. It comes from having a grounded heart. A heart that knows, I am still here. I am still held. And even now, there is still joy to be found. Joy is a choice, not a reaction. Life can be heavy. Appointments, labs, treatments, fatigue. All of it can settle not just in your body but in your heart. And over time it's easy to start thinking, I'll feel better when the numbers improve. I'll have joy when this season passes. I'll breathe easier when I get good news. So joy gets postponed, pushed into the future, tied to outcomes we can't control. But anchored joy doesn't wait. It doesn't wait for perfect reports. It doesn't wait for energy to return. It doesn't wait for life to feel light again. Because if joy is always waiting, it never becomes strength. Nehemiah 8:10 says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." Not your circumstances, not your progress, not your results. Your strength comes from something deeper, from a joy that is rooted in God Himself. That changes everything. Because joy is not just a feeling that comes and goes. It's not something fragile that disappears when life gets hard. Joy is strength. It's what steadies you when your body feels weak. It's what lifts your spirit when your heart feels heavy. It's what gives you the ability to keep going, not because everything is easy, but because something inside you is anchored. It's a foundation, a place you can return to even on the hardest days. A quiet confidence that says, there is still something holding me up. And it's something we choose to cultivate daily. Not by forcing happiness, not by ignoring what's difficult, but by intentionally creating space for it. It looks like choosing to notice one good thing today, choosing to smile when you didn't expect to, choosing to sit in a moment of peace without rushing past it. It looks like saying, even here, I will not let this season take everything from me. Because joy is not found in waiting for life to change. It is found in how you live while it hasn't. And when you begin to choose it, even in small ways, something shifts. The weight may still be there, but it doesn't press you down the same way. The circumstances may not change, but your strength does. You begin to carry things differently, not because they are lighter, but because you are stronger. And that strength, quiet, steady, rooted, comes from joy. Small moments, big impact. Joy often lives in the ordinary, not in the big life-changing moments we wait for, but in the quiet, everyday moments we can easily overlook. It lives in watching the sunrise when the world is still and light slowly pushes back the darkness. A reminder that no matter how the night felt, morning still comes. It lives in holding a grandchild's hand, small, warm, present. A connection that says life is still moving forward, and you are part of it. It lives in sharing a laugh with a friend, when for a moment the weight lifts and you remember what it feels like to just be. It lives in feeling the breeze on your face, simple, gentle, grounding, a reminder that you are here, you are breathing, you are alive in this moment. It lives in sipping your morning coffee in quiet, before the day begins, before the thoughts rush in, just you, a pause, and a moment of peace. These moments may seem small, easy to dismiss, easy to miss, but they are not small. When you slow down enough to notice them, when you allow yourself to fully be in them, they begin to anchor your heart. They pull you out of the noise of what's next and bring you back to what is now. And there's something powerful about that, because so much of this journey can pull you into the future, into appointments, results, possibilities, uncertainties. But joy lives here, in this breath, in this moment, in what is still good, still present, still meaningful, right now, even in treatment, even in uncertainty, even when the body feels weak, joy is still accessible. Not because everything is easy, but because not everything is lost. There is still beauty. There is still connection. There is still life unfolding in quiet, meaningful ways. And when you begin to notice these moments intentionally, gently, you start to realize joy isn't something you have to chase. It's something you allow yourself to see. And in seeing it, you strengthen your heart for the journey ahead. Practices that anchor joy. These are the practices that help turn joy from something occasional into something intentional. Not something you wait for, but something you gently build into your day. Number 1, start the day with gratitude. Before the numbers, before the appointments, before your mind has a chance to race ahead, pause. Remind yourself of what is already present. Family, faith, a new morning, the simple gift of being here. Gratitude sets the tone. It shifts your focus from what might go wrong to what is already right. And when your day begins from that place, everything else feels a little more grounded. Number 2, celebrate small wins. In a season like this, not every victory is big, and that's okay. Did you get through the day calmly? Did you choose peace when you could have spiraled? Did you smile, connect, or rest when your body needed it? That counts. Those are victories. And when you begin to recognize them, you stop waiting for major milestones to feel encouraged. You realize, I am moving forward, even in small ways. And those small wins build strength over time. Number 3, invite laughter. Laughter doesn't deny what you're facing. It doesn't minimize the seriousness of it, but it creates space. Space for your heart to feel light again, even just for a moment. A funny conversation, a light-hearted show, a shared memory. Laughter reminds you, this season does not get to take everything from me. And sometimes, that moment of lightness is exactly what your spirit needs to reset. Number 4, connect with what matters. Joy deepens through connection. Time with loved ones, quiet moments in prayer, writing your thoughts in a journal, sitting outside and noticing nature. These are not extra things, they are essential. They root you. They remind you of what is meaningful beyond the medical side of your life. Because you are more than appointments and results. And when you connect with what truly matters, your joy becomes steadier, less dependent on circumstances, more anchored in what lasts. Number 5, end the day reflecting. Before you close your eyes, pause again. Ask yourself, what brought me joy today? It might be something small, a conversation, a moment of peace, a breath of fresh air, a quiet strength you didn't realize you had. Let yourself notice it, because what you reflect on, you reinforce. And when you end your day by recognizing joy, even in small ways, you train your heart to see it more easily tomorrow. These practices are simple, but they are powerful. Because joy doesn't always arrive on its own. Sometimes it grows where you choose to notice it. And over time, as you build these rhythms into your life, something shifts. Joy becomes steadier. Peace becomes deeper. And even in the middle of uncertainty, your heart learns how to remain anchored. Joy is not denial. I don't pretend my journey is easy. I don't ignore the weight of it. I don't hide the moments when fear rises or when my body feels tired. Because pretending doesn't create peace, it just creates distance. This journey is real. The challenges are real. The emotions are real. And acknowledging that is not weakness, it's honesty. But here's what I've come to understand. Joy is not the absence of struggle. It's the presence of something deeper within it. Joy is the presence of peace when things feel unsettled. Joy is the presence of gratitude when everything isn't perfect. Joy is the presence of faith when answers are unclear. It doesn't remove the hard parts. It changes how you carry them. It allows you to say, yes, this is difficult, and there is still something steady within me. Philippians 4 verse 4 says, rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice, always. Not only when the report is good, not only when the path is clear, not only when you feel strong, always, even in trials. That doesn't mean forcing a smile. It doesn't mean denying what hurts. It means choosing where your joy comes from. Not from circumstances that change, but from the Lord who does not. It means returning again and again to a place of trust, a place where you can say, my situation might not feel steady, but God is. My body may feel weak, but my foundation is not. My emotions may rise and fall, but my faith can remain. Rejoicing becomes a posture, not a reaction. A quiet, intentional turning of your heart toward what is still true. And sometimes it's not loud. Sometimes it looks like a whisper. Thank you, God, for being with me today. Sometimes it looks like choosing gratitude in the middle of exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like peace that doesn't make sense to anyone else. But it is real, and it is powerful. Because when you choose joy like that, not as denial, but as anchoring, you begin to experience something deeper than circumstances can give or take away. A steady, rooted strength, a quiet confidence, a peace that holds even when everything else feels uncertain. That is anchor joy, not the absence of struggle, but the presence of God in the middle of it. Joy sustains strength. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but in a steady, life-giving way that carries you when your own energy runs low. Joy is energy for the soul. It's what refills you when everything else feels draining. It's what lifts you, not out of your circumstances, but through them. When I cultivate joy intentionally, gently, daily, something begins to shift inside me. Fatigue feels lighter, not because my body suddenly has more energy, but because my spirit is no longer weighed down by only what's hard. There is something within me that feels lifted, even if my body still needs rest. Anxiety feels softer. It doesn't always disappear, but it loses its sharp edge. It no longer takes over the whole space. Joy creates room for calm to come in and settle my thoughts. Peace feels deeper. Not surface-level peace that depends on everything going right, but a grounded, rooted peace that stays even when things are uncertain. Hope feels stronger, because joy reminds me that life is still happening, that there is still good, that there is still reason to believe that tomorrow holds something meaningful. And over time, joy becomes more than a moment. It becomes a sustaining force, not something fragile that comes and goes, but something that quietly supports you from within. It steadies your emotions. It strengthens your mindset. It gives you the resilience to keep showing up, even on the days that feel heavy. Because joy, when it's anchored, doesn't depend on how you feel physically that day. It flows from something deeper. It's cultivated in small choices, small moments, small acknowledgements of what is still good, still present, still meaningful. And those small moments begin to add up. They become a reservoir. So that when hard days come, when fatigue hits harder, when numbers drop, when uncertainty feels louder, you are not empty. You are sustained, not by circumstances, but by a joy that has been quietly growing within you. And that kind of joy doesn't just visit, it carries you. If you are listening and struggling to find light in your daily routine, hear this gently, honestly. Joy is available to you today. Not later, not when things improve, not when the results are better. Today. Even if it feels small, even if it feels quiet, even if it doesn't look the way it used to, it still counts. Because joy is not measured by how big it is. It's felt in how real it is. It might be a single peaceful moment, a breath that feels steady, a kind word, a pause where your heart softens. Don't overlook it. Those small moments are where joy begins to grow. Anchor it in faith. Let your joy be rooted in something unchanging, not in how the day unfolds, but in who walks with you through it. Even when everything else feels uncertain, your foundation can remain steady. Anchor in gratitude. Train your eyes to see what is still good, not because everything is perfect, but because something still is. Gratitude opens your heart to notice what might otherwise be missed. Anchor it in the love surrounding you, the people who show up, the messages, the prayers, the quiet presence of those who care. You are not walking this alone. And when you begin to anchor your joy in these places, faith, gratitude, love, something shifts. You realize joy is not fragile. It's not easily taken. It's not dependent on circumstances. It flows through them, through the uncertainty, through the fatigue, through the moments that don't go as planned. It finds its way into the ordinary, into the in-between, into the spaces you didn't expect. And over time, you begin to feel it more consistently, not because everything changed, but because you did, because you learned to see it, to receive it, to hold onto it. So today, don't wait for a perfect moment. Just notice one small thing. Let it matter. Let it settle in your heart. Because even here, even now, joy is still finding you. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to anchor joy in their daily life. Like it by clicking the thumbs up. Follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.